when we go live, I always go to my webpage, which I'm going to now. You'll probably put it in your group. I don't have to put it there. Let's just go see if we are live. Because I don't know if you had this. Clark, I say this with every guest. I've had situations where I went live, and guess what? I forgot to hit the record button. I forgot to hit the go live button. I did an interview with George Frazier for about 45 minutes and forgot to do that.
Oh, my God.
So you and I, we're going to go check my page to make sure we're live. That's number one. And then I'm going to pull your website up, man. I want them to kind of get a chance to connect with you because I hear all the time that folks are always looking for ways to build their media empire, how to reach more people, how to connect with more people. And if you can't do it in person, I've learned that media is a fastest way to reach folks.
It absolutely is, man. Especially in the information age that we live in now, man. As you see, there are so many platforms that are being invented. It seems like every month, all derived to get content out to another group of people.
Yeah, that's one of the things that I think is really amazing about what goes on in the world and where we are. And I love what you're doing with Survival Radio Network, man. That's just amazing. We're gonna make sure that we get into that tonight as well. Let me check here, make sure I'm live because that'd be crazy. Okay, I see we got Amber Woods is out there. What's up, Amber Woods? Thanks for joining. Gilmore, thanks for joining. CF Jackson, she posted a note saying, Clark, she had to be here to support you, by the way. She's out of Atlanta, a wonderful individual. Just super incredible, super amazing. Thanks so much for joining. We certainly appreciate you. You are a rock star, by the way. You are just one heck of a rock star. I do want to recognize Katisha Pitts is in the house. What's up, Kat? What's going on, by the way? Thanks for joining. Someone let me know you can hear me, by the way, because I'm trying to get going as fast as I can. Ebony Young, what's the word, Ebony? Look, Ebony, you and I have got to get together. We keep saying we're going to connect, and we haven't had a chance to connect yet. So I want to make sure that you and I set a time that you and I sit a chance to talk. Davincia Warren, thanks for joining. You're at the right place at the right time. Someone do me a favor. Clark, can you do a mic check so we can get going around here?
Absolutely. Mic check. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3.
Why did he do 1, 2, 3, by the way? Why did he do 1, 2, 3? I think that is hilarious, by the way.
I heard the old 80s DJs do that, so that's where I get it from.
Normally, Clark, when I come on, people are saying, my mic sounds nice, check 1. My mic sounds nice, check 2. And you talking about, what was yours again?
1, 2, 3.
That's like the old-fashioned way, man. I like that, though. I'm going to go back to that, by the way. I'm really excited. We got a lineup. This is a money conversation. Todd Lee, what's going on? Eric Nicholson, I saw your note, man. We got to connect. Let me know you can hear me. Someone type right below and put, we can hear you. And then we're going to get kicked off. Just say, we can hear you. Clark, can you hear me?
I can hear you loud and clear.
Okay, good. Because I'd be really upset if you couldn't hear me. Then I'd be like, God, I'm just wasting my time. All right. All right, Clark says, okay, they can hear us. Okay, good. Let's go ahead and get started in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We're going to get going in 1 second. Let me make sure I get there. We go.
Please go ahead and give a big standing ovation for the one and the only Shay Brown.
Every morning in Africa, a gazelle wakes up and it knows it must outrun the fastest lion or be killed and eaten. Also, every morning in Africa, a lion wakes up and knows it must outrun the slowest gazelle or it will starve to death. You've heard it before. It doesn't matter whether you're a lion or a gazelle. When the sun comes up, you better be what? You better be running. That's right. You better be running. Life is about meaning, and meaning is about service. Isn't that the reason why we're all here? Isn't that what we're all searching for? 2013, the Peak Performance Institute was created. 5,000 clients who we've helped turn their idea into a reality, their reality into a business, their business into a movement, impacting 5.7 million lives around the world. Imagine that! Hey, my name is Shay Brown, the Happy Entrepreneur, and welcome to the Happy Entrepreneur Network, the world's largest organization for the well-being of an entrepreneur. And as we always say, Our mission at the Happy Entrepreneur Network, our mission is to inspire, empower, and provide resources for the entrepreneur to live a balanced life and execute their vision for the people they were called to serve. And our mantra, I love our belief. Everyone should have a belief statement. Our belief is the results that show up in your life are just as important as the results that show up in your bank account. With that being said, let's get started. All right, I am super excited. Welcome everyone that is joining. Special shout out to Amber Woods. Thank you for confirming you can hear us. Ebony Young, we appreciate you. Thank you for sharing you can hear us. Monica Nettles, I'm glad you're in the house. Doug Izar, look, if you haven't met the Klarque Garrison, if you haven't had a chance to be under his tutelage, look, he's already given a high five. Look, the guy is in Atlanta. He's amazing. Forget that he's a good Kappa man, by the way. So that's one of my frat brothers just doing what he's doing best. We noops. This is what we do, baby. It's what we do. But Brenda Graham, you're going to find him to be just super knowledgeable, super incredible. And if you are ready to be paid more for what you know than you can do, if you're ready to take your knowledge and leave that behind for a legacy for others to generate income or revenue, and if you're ready just to really build your media empire, then I will say you're at the right place, at the right time, with the right folks. So let me go and say hello to none other than the one and only Klarque Garrison. What's up, my man?
Hey, new brother Shay, it's a pleasure. I've known you for a while, man, and I'm always excited when you ask me to be on your show, and I always think back, well, why does he want me to talk? Well, Shay Brown wants me to actually run my mouth a little bit, so I'm very honored to be on your show.
Well, it's an honor for what you're doing, Klarque. One of the things you're doing is you've been providing a platform, you've been providing a medium for people like us to learn what we learn and for people like us to be able to get our message out. And one of the things I admire about our very first conversation when I was asking if I could be on your show, you took time and said, yeah, not only can you be on my show, but you're welcome to go ahead and share your knowledge with my folks. So I appreciate all that you're doing. Look, as we get started, I see Saucony Princess out there. For those folks that are just tuning in, welcome, welcome, welcome. I like to start off, Klarque, with something that I do almost every episode because it's kind of what got me going. It came from my mentor, and he taught me this saying called the Champion's Creed. Now, sometimes people say, Shay, you do this over and over again. I don't care. I don't do it for Shay Brown or Klarque Garrison, and I don't do it for the listener out there or the entrepreneur that's doing okay. I do it for the entrepreneur, for the single mom, for the single dad, for the small business owner, for the coach, or for the person that has a big dream or a big idea, and they've hit a few roadblocks. Yeah. They've hit a few pitfalls, and sometimes life has set them back, and they understand that. So it's called the Champion's Creed. Let me pull that up. Can y'all pull that up for me? The Champion's Creed. And the Champion's Creed, what's up, V Speak Life? And Sean J. Harris. Oh, y'all in for a treat with Klarque Garrison tonight. The Champion's Creed goes something like this. I am not judged by the number of times I fail, but by the number of times I succeed. And the number of times I succeed is a direct proportion to the number of times I can fail, and I keep trying, and I keep trying, and I keep trying. This is a message for you to pay forward to someone else. Klarque Garrison, do me a favor. Do you mind just reading those words that you see on the screen right now, and you're reading those words for an entrepreneur, for a business owner that's out there right now that's saying, you know what, I've been trying some things and they just haven't worked. Or should I stay? Should I not? Should I do it or should I not? Can you read those words?
I will. So I am not judged. That's the words you want me to start there, right?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Champion's Creed. I am not judged by the number of times I fail, but by the number of times I succeed. And the number of times I succeed is in the direct proportion to the number of times I can fail and keep trying.
And keep trying, and keep trying, and keep trying. We always got to put the remix version on that. And keep trying. That's the most important thing you right now can do is you can put keep trying. Here's what I like to do. What's up, Sherry Wallace? If you can, Klarque, take a moment. And when you read those words, I just want to hear what goes through your mind. What are you thinking when you read those words? Can you take a moment and just do that? And as he's doing that right now, as he's doing that, I want you to do me a favor. I want you to look right below the video right now, Sherry Wallace. Look right below the video right now, Amber Woods. And Amber Woods watches. She's head of the Blind Association and just an amazing individual. You got our other good frat brother, Kevin Peck, who's watching right now, by the way. He's in Atlanta, and you've got to connect with him, by the way, Klarque Garrison. He runs Drew Hill. He's been their manager for the last 30 years. Him and his wife are just truly amazing. He's a good frat brother from Morgan State, by the way. I know you went to FAM, but, it's all in the family, by the way. What's up, Kevin Peck, Phi Newt, brother? Here's what I want you to do. Look right below the video. And put these words. Hashtag born ready. Just put hashtag born ready. You look right below the video. We're doing the Champions Creed. It's my favorite segment to do other than talking to Klarque Garrison, because I get so excited every time I read that Champions Creed. You look right below the video. What's up, Tony Moore? She's an attorney, smart individual, by the way, Klarque. You got to meet her. And put hashtag born ready. Klarque, when you hear Champions Creed, what goes through your mind? And can you tell us about a time where you had a setback, and what lesson did you learn in order for you to have a comeback? They'll read your bio. Don't worry about that. They'll read the radio stations you started. Don't worry about that. We'll get into all the celebrities that you've worked with. Don't worry about that. But can you tell us about a setback that you have? And you, the listener, you look right below the video and put hashtag born ready. Hashtag born ready. All right, Klarque, take it away.
So it's so many. First of all, life as an entrepreneur is about 100% setbacks. We as entrepreneurs have more setbacks than we can count. So that alone has been the story of my journey, because I've been working for myself now for 25 years. Mm-hmm. But this whole platform of Survival Radio Network and my career in radio started from a huge setback of losing over $1 million in cash and assets, and how it devastated not only my life, but my family's life, my kids' life, my distant family, my friends. I mean, talk about losing everything. I absolutely lost everything, and almost lost my courage to continue. And the whole reason this radio station came about was because I had written a book, and that book was just a journal for me, as a way to write down my fears and the things that I had tripped over, all the things that I did wrong. I wrote down why, and I tried to learn these lessons, and someone suggested that there were other people going through the same thing. I should write this book. And then it was like, well, how are we going to put this out to the masses? How are we going to get anybody to see it? I wasn't really acclimated on the process of how you go city to city and spend the money to get 3 people to buy your book. So a friend of mine came to me with the internet radio solution, and that's where I jumped into radio. And without that major failure, I wouldn't be here. SRN wouldn't be here, and all of the many things that came after that would not have happened. So anytime failure is mentioned, I look at it as a jump start to putting me in the position that I'm in today. And had I thought, had someone told me, I don't know, that was 10 years ago, that doing that would put me here, I would absolutely do it again.
Wow. Now, what was the name of the book, number one, if you can tell us that? What was the name of the book? And for those folks that are out there, Kathy Sermon's out there. What's up, Kathy Sermon? Tony Moore put hashtag born ready, by the way. Brenda Graham put hashtag born ready. Amber put hashtag born ready. Saucony Prince, an amazing speaker, incredible individual. You got to meet Saucony Prince. He put hashtag born ready. CF Jackson put hashtag born ready, by the way. If you're out there, as you're listening right now, just like JS Singh, I've asked you to take some notes and look right below the video and put hashtag born ready. That's a born ready. That means you're ready to have some setbacks. You're ready to have some comebacks. You're ready to get your message out, and you're ready to not only get your message out, but be paid. If that's you, you look right below the video. You look right below the video and just type these words, hashtag born ready, because this is your time. This is your year. This is your moment. Klarque Garrison, what's the name of the book? What's the name of the book? And what's the takeaway that someone could do that's had a setback in their life? And then we're going to get into a podcast. We're going to get into Monetize, and we're going to get into some best formats. But first, I just want to hear the name of the book. And then what is the lesson that you want folks to walk away with? And I do want to say hello to Jarvis Taylor. He's in the house, regularly shows up. Jarvis, thank you so much for what you do. Michael Reginald was on the board. He said hashtag born ready. If you saw someone that put hashtag born ready, what makes the show, the Happy Entrepreneur Show, unique and different is we're not here just to push out information. We don't have all of the answers, okay? Right. But we can share, we can support each other, we can love on each other, and we can encourage each other to really move forward because we believe that the results that show up in your life are just as important as the results that show up in your bank account. Klarque Garrison, tell us the lesson you want us to walk away with. That. What's up, Ashley, Latasha? I see you. Hashtag, they are born ready, by the way. When you hear born ready, Klarque, I know I'm changing up on them. What's kind of going through your mind? Like they're writing hashtag born ready. And the reason I want to put that, they're like, well, am I ready to get on air? Am I ready to tell my story? Who wants to hear it? Is it going to be good enough? Is it funny enough? I mean, talk about what hashtag born ready means. Look, I just came up with that while we were here. So Klarque said I can answer whatever question I want.
You can ask whatever. So I actually love that because to me it doesn't resonate with the date you were born. We're not talking about November 28th, 1966. We're talking about each and every day you get up. Because, man, it's so hard. And so many of us take yesterday's baggage into tomorrow. And so when you say to me born ready, it commands that no matter what didn't go right for you yesterday, you can change it today. So that's what I love about that born ready, man. That's a mantra we need to be saying every day we get up.
Yeah. Hashtag born ready. What's up, Dwayne Reynolds? Thanks for joining. You got Markeith Braden in the house. Look, you're bringing out the all-stars. I mean, hey, Markeith, I sent you a note, man. We got to connect. Got to get you back on. Markeith was on one of my first early episodes, man, when I didn't even know how to cut the camera on. He's like, Shay, I got you, brother. I got you. Without Markeith, y'all might not hear me right now. And I might have given up. So, Markeith, love what you're doing. Markeith has a podcast, and he does some amazing things. I might even have him call in today. He knows how to call, and he's just a great guy. All right, what's up, Sandra? Thanks for joining. All right, Klarque. We're getting some good stuff in a moment. But when people hear the word podcasting or they hear the word doing it on air, it comes up. And I got a call from someone just today, Klarque, believe this or not. And they said, Shay, podcasting, there's so many people that are doing it right now. Like, what's he going to talk about? It's oversaturated. It's overcrowded. And do you know what I told that person?
What'd you tell him?
I told him I believe him. He said, you do? I said, absolutely. I said, I believe whatever you believe. And he started laughing. Why do you say that? And I said, because the law of belief is whatever you tell yourself over and over again, you will eventually believe. The law of belief is whatever you tell yourself over and over again, you will eventually believe. So if that's what you believe, I'm not here to shift your beliefs. I suggest you show up at 11 p.m. at night, and then you can hear why it's working for some folks, right? And so I know that you listening, you don't have that mindset. But Klarque, I got to get you to address that person because they are a listener. They're a viewer. I didn't mention your name. I did mention your name. I know you're probably mad at me. I'm not going to mention your name. Don't worry about that. But I had to bring it up, okay? Because that is a mindset of some folks that are listening right now, and they're thinking this thing is oversaturated. Klarque Garrison, can you talk about that? Let me say hello to Leanna Pasheen. What's up, Leanne? Thanks for joining. Can't wait for her to be on it. She's going to be on here. And Dee Bowden and Lance Jones and Sherry Wallace. Oh, there's so many folks that are joining. All right, over to you, Klarque.
So first of all, that's a misnomer.
Is it?
In actuality, we are just starting to scratch the surface of internet radio. It's almost like when some of you, most of you should be old enough to remember when CDs came about and we were holding on to our cassette tapes.
Yeah, I remember.
And I remember thinking CDs were stupid. They didn't make any sense. They were overpriced. You got to buy a new system. Who would do that? Mm-hmm. And it took a long time before people got into gear and ditched their cassettes entirely for CDs. And even then, what came after that? The CD became a Blu-ray. And then now we got downloads. But it's the same system. So it is not saturated. If you think it's saturated, ask the next 10 people that you bump into, do you have an online radio show? Do you have a podcast? Ask the next 50 people. Ask the next 100 people that you bump into, just arbitrarily. Do you have a podcast? Do you do your own podcast, or do you do your own live radio show? We're at the start of it. And that's why I'm advocating for everybody to look at this as the ultimate mouthpiece for an ideology, a platform, a product, a service that you have. It's back when, remember when you used to have to become a guru, you had to write a book.
Yeah.
And that book signified you must know what you're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
Now, how many people said, well, everybody's written a book, so why would I write another book because somebody else has already written a book? So many people got books. Yeah. That wasn't the mindset, right? Mm-hmm. So it did. So I look at this as the same way. It is not. And then the other side of that coin is we all know just because other people are doing it doesn't mean they're doing it well. And so I believe with anything, the cream will always rise to the top. And I personally have only been in this, and I say only, it seems a lot for some, but for others, I'm just now in the mix of it. But for 10 years, I've been doing radio, broadcast, and online. And I remember what my mentor told me, shout out to Michael McFadden. He told me at the beginning.
Oh, Michael McFadden, he's a great guy out of Atlanta. I love him.
Out of Atlanta.
I met him back in 2005.
Very good
Small
gentleman.
world, man. He's a great guy, yeah.
And one of the only guys at that time to sit me down and teach me this game. And I remember I was thinking, hey, man, give me a nugget, give me a kernel, tell me something that I can become great at this business. And he said, consistency. And I was like, what? Consistency? That's the message you're going to give me? I mean, that's what I got to take home with? And now, looking back, what he meant was just because people are doing it doesn't mean they're going to continue to do it. Most people are novelties. Most people aren't passionate. Most people aren't consistent. And no one outside of Michael and myself that started back then is still doing radio or podcasts.
So true. No, that is, matter of fact, here's what I like to do. That was perfect. Great. Hold that thought. If you're out there right now, do me a favor. Is it okay? You can hear Klarque Garrison. And you can see Klarque Garrison, but he can't see you. He can't hear you. Klarque, can they take a moment and tell us what they do? Would that be okay? Because I know this video goes viral. I know you share it out. Some people don't want to really promote people if they didn't pay. But here's what I like for you to do. Klarque, do I have your permission to do that, my man?
Absolutely.
I like him. He's such a giver. You, the entrepreneur, you, the viewer on the Happy Entrepreneur Show, do me a favor. What's up? Leanna loves my shirt. Thanks so much. What's up, CF Jackson? Annette Smith, glad you could join us. Madeline, it's always a pleasure. Here's what I'd like for you to do. Look right below the video. Listen to these instructions. Look right below the video. If you have a podcast, if you have a blog show, if you have an online show, if you do a video at all or a webinar, look right below the video. Look right below the video and put your podcast link or put the name of your webinar. Put the name of your Facebook Live. I want you to take a moment and promote yourself. Now, here's how we're going to do it. You're going to write these words: I help people blank, or I help businesses blank. This is how we're going to start it. So listen very carefully, because you want to do this. I want you to network with the tens of thousands of listeners and viewers all over the world. Those on the podcast, those on the conference calls, those listening live right now, those that be listening to the replay, the syndication. You listening right now, you can do this. Look right below the video and put I help people ... or I help businesses make more money. I help people transform their lives. I help people collect money that's owed to them. I help people ... or I help businesses ... Now, after you do that, I want you to put the web link to your podcast, or the link to your Facebook page, or the link to your Instagram page, or the link to your website. I want people to be able to connect with you. So I have Klarque Garrison's permission right now, and you, Klarque, would like to know who you are. What's up, Marita? What's going on, Nestle? Klarque Garrison wants to know who you are. So I'm going to give you the instructions one more time. You're probably writing it right now. All my digital note takers, writing on that digital board that will forever be in time. You write right now, I help businesses start their podcast, or whatever it is. I help people, ... And I'm going to ask Klarque Garrison to read a few of those in a minute. He's going to look below. He can see right there on my page. I think he has my page up. If he doesn't, I'm going to see if he can get it up. And he's going to read a couple of those. And then after you do that, put the link to your podcast, the link to your website, the link to your business page. Shay, my business page, my website not updated. Then put the link to your Instagram. But I want people to connect with you, and I don't want them to be focused on who you are and what celebrities you work with. I want them to be focused on what you do and the problem that you solve in the world. Now, V Speak Life, who I owe a phone call to, V, I'll give you a call. She put down, I help people and businesses develop and achieve their ambitions. And she put www.vsspeaklife.com. Now, I want you to connect with somebody. So you hit the like button. If you see what she wrote, hit the like button, and then you go ahead and write right now. Klarque Garrison, do you see D. Bolden? Do you see what she wrote there?
I do. You want me to read it?
Yeah, go ahead and read that.
I help companies collect money that is owed to them, and her link is www.facebook.com/d.bowden.5. And that's Bowden.
I love it, D. Bolden. So as you're out there right now, one of the things you can do, and the reason I asked you to do this is Klarque made a point. He's going to go over the innovative ways to monetize your podcast. But I start off with a call that I got before this broadcast earlier today, and they said it's oversaturated. There are too many people that are doing it. Shay, it's too crowded out there. Everyone's doing it. Well, I'm giving you an opportunity, if you have a podcast, to spotlight that podcast right now. I'm giving you an opportunity right now, and if you have a webinar or a radio show, to spotlight it right now. I even said you can give us the link to your website or to your Facebook page so people can connect with you. So if you have one, we're going to help you at least find people who may have an interest, need, or want in what you're doing. Klarque, can you read C.F. Jackson's? And then we're going to get into some innovative ways to make some money. But this is a good time. Now, Candy, the instructions are you first got to tell us how you help people or businesses. We want that. That's really important to us, really important. All right. What's up, Loretta? All right, Klarque, can you read that?
I can. I help you, entrepreneurs, drive your expertise, knowledge, and hold on, it's going fast. Where is it? Knowledge and products further with the power of streaming TV devices like Roku. The website is www.idefinetv.com.
All right, and let's go to the next one. How about Ebony Young? I see Ebony Young has one down there.
So let's go to Ebony. Ebony Young. I help entrepreneurs and businesses grow and scale their services to win government contracts.
Now I'm gonna ask Klarque later if it's, can you have a podcast, right? Are these podcastable businesses? I don't know if that's even a word, Shay. Podcastable businesses. I'll read James J. Cleveland Payne. I know you're getting your camera straight. I help people who are ready to advance in their personal and professional lives, put processes and systems in place. Oh, wow. Thanks a lot. So they can get it done. www.yourbetterlife.info. That's great. Amber, what's up? Amber Woods. Now, as people are putting this, connect with them. I help people achieve vacations and generate income and achieve and encourage disability entrepreneurs by being a positive role model and for startups. Thanks a lot. Now, the reason I'm asking you all to do this is that I'm going to ask Klarque, because I haven't seen one person put a podcast down yet, by the way, Klarque. I mean, I know my friend told me it was oversaturated, and I got to get over this. I'm still teed off the person going to tell me that. It's a friend. It's a colleague. Shay, it's oversaturated. This is the craziest thing you could do. Fine, I get it. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. But not one person put down a podcast yet, but I'm going to look. All right, can you read Leanne's? Maybe someone has a podcast that exists on the planet out there just watching.
You want me to read Leanne's?
Yeah, go ahead and read Leanne's.
Okay, Leanne, I assist others to become empowered in their communication and presentation skills.
I love it. What about Candy's?
Candy, Broadway, I help, let's see, Seymour, hold on. I help people build wealth through buying and selling real estate. Now,
here's what we're going to do. I'm going to bring Klarque back in just a moment. We're going to talk about innovative ways to monetize your podcast. I want you to know that September 30th is National Podcast Day. Holla at your boy. Someone did their homework before they showed up. They sent me that note, by the way. That's one of those little known facts. I've always wanted to have a little known fact. September 30th is National Podcast Day. Shay, why in the LL Cool J should I care? Shay, why should I pay attention to what you're saying? Well, if September 30th is National Podcast Day, the only question I have for you is, will your podcast be playing on that day? The only question I ask for you is, will you be a participant or will you be just watching? That's the only question I have for you. September 30th is National Podcast Day. Klarque Garrison is going to talk about the importance of that, by the way, and why, not the date is important, but why we need to have a podcast. And number two, how to monetize the podcast. Fred Willis, I see you. I help people move forward in their lives' purpose. I discovered that I was already doing that part and being in my purpose. Thanks a lot for joining. I'm going to go over to none other than Dr. Kennett. And then we come back, Klarque Garrison. We're going to get down with the get down. It's time to learn innovative ways to monetize your podcast. Nestle Kreff, we see you. No, don't worry about it. Klarque Garrison is watching. He's looking right below. He's seeing what you're doing, so we know who you are. Kennett Thigpen, talk to me. Holla at your boy.
Hello, it's your girl, Dr. Kennett Thigpen, also known as Dr. K, founder of Rise Women's Network. And Rise Women's Network is pleased to present to you hashtag Next Sister Up. I'm here with you today in the Happy Entrepreneurs Tribe, and today is my January 1st. Here's your thought of the week. Redirected, not rejected. Redirected, not rejected. Now, how many of us have been rejected at some point in our life? You know, maybe it's been rejection from a sales opportunity, a relationship, or maybe even a job opportunity. Now, many people view rejection as failure. Now, instead of focusing on the rejection, we should focus on how do we move forward from here. I remember back in 2006, I had received my master's degree. I was working at a community mental health organization, and I thought I deserved a raise. Now, there were 563 reasons as to why I thought I deserved a raise, but one of those reasons was that master's degree. So the night before my meeting with the owner of the company, I practiced, I role played, I listed everything out, and the next morning I went in there ready. And I gave her the 563 reasons as to why I deserved a raise. And she looked at me and she smiled really big and she said, Kennett, that is absolutely amazing. Thank you. And no. So not only did I feel rejected, but I also felt deflated. And to be honest with you, I even went home and had a little bit of a pity party. Now, once I got my little self together, I said, you know what? It's time to move forward. I haven't been rejected. I'm going to be redirected. So what I did was I focused my time and energy on opening my own private practice. And in less than 6 months, I had accomplished that goal. And so although in that moment initially I thought I had been rejected, I was actually being redirected. And so I'll leave you with this quote. Every time I thought I was being rejected from something good, I was actually being redirected to something even better. I'm your girl, Dr. Kennett Thigpen, also known as Dr. K. Make it a great day.
Let's give it up for Dr. Kennett Thigpen. Someone do me a favor. Look right below the video, and I love her hashtag Next Sister Up. Do me a favor. Look right below the video. Look right below the video. And let's type this message. Redirected, not rejected. Someone just do me a favor. Let's just take that message right now. We're going to redirect our energy into podcasting, into building our media empire. So you go ahead and write down right now, redirected, not rejected. Let me say that again. Redirected, not rejected. Let me say that again. I want you to write those words. I want you to hear those down there. What's up, Leanne? She said hosting a podcast is on my business plan. If I told you it was on my business plan, you would laugh too. No, I believe it's on your business plan. I believe it. But here's what I know, Leanne, and I love you. I just met Leanne last week in Houston, Texas, by the way. This is for you, Leanne. This is for everybody got something on their business plan. Thank God you got a business plan. I ain't have no business plan. I just got started, by the way. But here it is. The best intentions do not equal the best results. Let me say that again. That's a Shayism, by the way. And Leanne, I know I can say that because you have the biggest heart, by the way. And Klarque, she'll be sitting in your seat soon. So she's just, the best students are always here. They're always showing up. But I want you to go ahead and write this note down. I see you, Ann Smith. Redirected, not rejected. Ebony Young, redirected, not rejected. C.F. Jackson, redirected, I'm not rejected. Malika Courtney, hey, Shay, I see you. Hashtag next sister up. I got you. I feel you. I'm with you. Hey, what's up, Cheryl Pope Clark? What's going on, Stephen Youngblood, my man, in the house. Redirected, not rejected. And the importance of that is, I'm going to tell you that there's going to be some rejection when you start your podcast. You're going to have to redirect it. It may be rejection in the form of not enough listeners. It might be rejection in terms of there's no sponsor. It might be rejection in terms of you think that what you're saying doesn't make sense. But here's what I want you to tell yourself. Here's what I want you to hear. Redirect it, not what? Reject it. I see you, Saucony Prince. What's up, Kiana? Thanks a lot for joining, by the way. Good to connect with you. So, Clark, let's get into podcasting. Let's get into what it has to offer. And for all of you who are taking notes, thank you so much. I'm going to encourage you to share this message. So you can go ahead and hit the share button. If you look right below the video, there's a share button that you can hit. You can hit that share button. And when you hit that share button, if you want to write something when you share it, you can just put, it's time to be paid more for what you know than you can do. That's what Clark's going to get into. Now, this is a mantra. This is a belief. It's time to be paid more for what you know than you can do. Hit the share button. Pay this message forward, please. We believe in the giver's economy here, the giver's economy. The person that outgives their competition, well, guess what happens? No, seriously, guess what happens? No. The person that outgives their competition, guess what happens? They out-earn their competition. No, seriously. And so I'm going to ask you the share button. Clark, is it okay if they share with their network? Can they share it on their page? Because I know you're going to give away some secrets. And, look, I like Klarque Garrison because he didn't ask for a cash app before we got on tonight. He says, I'll be there. There was no Zelly needed. It was great. No credit card, no check. Says, I come to serve. He recognizes one of our core values at the Happy Entrepreneur Network. The person that outgives the competition, guess what they do? They out-earn the competition. All right, Clark, talk a little bit about podcasts. We know it offers a platform. It helps people extend their brand. If you were doing a one-on-one session and I said I'm interested in podcasting, let's just say, what would you say is maybe the number one or number two or maybe number three reason why I should go ahead and do it? What's top of mind and why?
Well, the first thing I ask anyone who's asking my advice on whether they should start it, the first question I ask them, are you passionate? Are you passionate about whatever it is you're going to be talking about, discussing, or selling, or whatever the case is? Is it something you're passionate? What I don't recommend people to do is to start a podcast because they only think it's going to give them a revenue stream. Because what will happen is when it gets tough, when it gets tiresome, when you're challenged to be consistent, those are going to be the things that you push back on because you're going to look over to the right after 90 days and say, I haven't made a gazillion dollars, so what's the point? But if you are truly passionate about the topic, if you would talk about this topic, if you would do this service in spite of having a podcast or online talk radio show, then you certainly need to move forward. And now that's when you start building upon the 1, 2, 3s of where to get started at. But that's the first thing. You got to be passionate about the subject matter that you're going to be talking about.
Mm-hmm. I love that. I love that. And you mentioned something that I think is very important, that one of the things podcasts can do, and I want you to talk about this. You said it can help them become an expert, but I also want you to talk about it can help them be disruptive. It can help them change the industry conversation. And you might not be thinking, I can't do that by myself, okay? And if that's your belief, then I'm here to help you extend your belief. I'm here to tell you that it might be uncomfortable for you, but it's within your grasp. Let me say that again. It might be uncomfortable for you. I'm a high introvert, by the way. But it is within your what? Grasp. So you can reach out and do that. You can change the conversation. And I want Clark to talk about how you can even shift your industry by you having a podcast, you having a voice, and you being able to communicate your message out there. Now, it's not about Shay Brown or the Happy Entrepreneur Show, but I know when I first talked to folks about this idea I had, and I said, I think 11 o'clock. I don't know if everyone is asleep at 11 o'clock. Everyone's not watching the news at 11 o'clock. Everyone is not partying at 11 o'clock. Everyone's not shutting down every night at 11 o'clock. So what do you think about maybe doing a show at 11 o'clock to speak to entrepreneurs that might want to listen to it at 11 o'clock, or do like I do on Netflix, and I just finished binge watching this past weekend. I think Orange is the New Black. Don't hate on me. I'm not a big Netflix person, but I'm like addictive to this show. And I watched like 2 seasons this whole weekend. And I know that means I was sitting on the couch, but don't worry about that. But I said they might want to go back and listen to some great content. And they said, Shay, that's crazy. No one does that. That's the stupidest thing I've heard. And they were right. But I said, well, now you know someone's going to do it, right? So if anyone ever asks you what's going on at 11 o'clock at night, tell them, I know a show, by the way, right now is the #1 business development and revenue-focused late-night show in the country. We start off as the only one, but now we are the one because of you and all of you who share this message for us. So, Klarque, talk about how you can become an expert and you can shift the conversation. And then I'm going to get into the #1 way you can make money doing it. But I want you to hear that. Ebony Young, thanks for joining. Daryl Mack, it is always a pleasure. Good to see you, by the way. Klarque, talk about how you can shift the conversation and communicate your message.
So as I'm listening to you and as I'm thinking about the fact that we're at 11 o'clock plus talking about entrepreneurship.
First of all, Klarque, it depends on where you are.
Yep.
Sheila Reynolds, who you know, is in Germany right now.
You are.
It's only 6:30 in the morning.
There
If
you
you're
go.
over in London, it's early in the morning. If you're on the West Coast, it's early in the morning. Mirella, you might see her join on. She's over in Australia. 12-hour difference. So,
there you go.
You know, I get it. I'm on the East Coast and you're on the East Coast. So it's late for some of us. But for others, good morning. Good afternoon.
And I'm really directing it to you because you're full of passion. And it's kind of carry over to what I wanted to say is that, you know, if you have that kind of passion that you hear in Shay Brown, then you're going to have a voice. And when you have a voice that people can relate and passionate, what happens is you start to redirect the conversation towards things that really matter. And so here's a point. Today, more people get their news and media, their information news and media from online outlets like Young Turks than the 3 networks combined, the 3 major networks of NBC, CNN, and Fox.
Wow,
and that's, think about that concept now. It's not the newspapers, it's not the big chains, it is online websites and online podcasts and shows on YouTube and things like that America and the world is getting their information from. And that is because someone like Cenk Uygur said, you know what, I want to start an online, and because I have a voice. I want to fight back. I want to talk about politics as it is and not as it's perceived to be. Those are the same kind of empowerment that you and I can do, and Shay is doing. All we have to do is be passionate, have a concept, be consistent, and get better every single day at what we're doing, and you can drive the narrative that way.
Well, I want you to talk about some folks that have a podcast. We're going to look at your page in just a second. I'm going to give a few ideas, and I want you to jot this down, and then Klarque will speak to it because he's the expert. But one of the reasons one of the ways you can monetize just your podcast, I'm going to ask for his top 3 ways to monetize your podcast, is it allows you to, #1, engage listeners, lead to loyal clients. Let me say this again. Now, everybody might not want to work with you as a client. That's not what I'm saying. But I do want you to hear this. Now, someone write this down right below in the notes. Like, you look right below the video, and my digital note takers, I know you're out there, by the way. You want to bless someone else. You want to help someone else right now. I know it. I can feel it. I want you to write this down. Engage listeners, lead to loyal customers. Let me say that again. Hey, Jewel, Elliot, thanks for joining. It's been a while. Good. I'm so glad you're here. Put down #1. Somebody put #1, an engaged listener leads to loyal clients. So the fact is, some of your clients may be listening to your podcast. Some of the folks who may be interested in working with you one day, they have no idea they are, may be listening to your podcast. So hosting your own podcast opens up the possibility for your customers or potential customers to feel closer to you and your business as you exchange your core values. So Shay, what's one idea I need to walk away with? Shay, what do I need to write down in my notes? Shay, what do I need to make sure I don't forget? Jot this down in your notes right now. an engaged listener leads to a loyal customer. Put that down for number one. Put number one idea. Now, I'm asking you to do that, and I appreciate every one of you who are doing that, because now you get feedback. You get to speak directly to your potential customers. You get to speak to the problem that they have. You get to build these stronger relationships. So number one, an engaged listener leads to loyal clients. Now I'm going to ask Klarque to talk about that, and I'm going to ask him to share maybe one or two people he knows that does podcasts and how does help them grow their business. He's been so gracious on me, Klarque, and I appreciate it, man. You're wonderful. Thank you so much for giving me a shout out. But I will shout someone else out there as well. So you look below the video and put down an engaged, number one, an engaged listener leads to a loyal client or customer. And I want you to imagine for a moment. You just share what's on your heart. You share the vision you have for the people you were called to serve. That's all you're doing. You're sharing your vision for the people you were called to serve. You are sharing what you believe. And as a result, you attract people who are listening. And if it makes sense and is right, and that's what your podcast is about, maybe they want to do business with you or business with your sponsors. That's a topic for another time. We're going to get to that at the end. Either do business with you or, let me say it again, do business with your what? Your sponsors. Now, as you're out there listening right now, we're going to go through, I'm at least probably have 4 or 5 ideas. I'm going to ask Klarque to kind of share how that's relevant, and then also share maybe someone that he's worked with that he knows is out there right now, and they've been able to generate either sponsorship for their podcast or help be able to get clients for their podcast. And if you have a question for Klarque Garrison, you can look right below the video and just put, I got a question. Just put, I got a question for Klarque Garrison, and write your question down. Can't promise he won't get to all of them, but he will take some questions this evening. I'm putting them on the spot. Don't worry about that. All right, Klarque, let's talk about number one, an engaged listener. Annette put that down. Amber put that down. Jarvis Taylor put that down. Fred Willis put it down. What's up, Sandra? Sandra's in the house. Malika Courtney put that down. That's Sandra Gobe, by the way. Jewel Elliott's listening. Talk about that and how that's relevant is one of the ways to monetize your podcast.
So I'm glad you said that, and I don't know, maybe you're looking at my notes or you're just really, really good, but there was a study done that said that podcasts create the most loyal listeners because people tend to feel like podcasts are just a Joe Schmo at home in front of his computer with something to say. It's not a big company. It's not a big corporation outfit. Even if it is, the feeling is that you're touchable, you're relatable. And so because of that, they feel more part of your journey and more part of your family. Mm-hmm. And when people feel like they're part of your family, or we'll call it your tribe, mm-hmm. when they feel like they're part of your tribe, they trust you. And the minute you can get someone to trust you is when you have the ability to push the herd left or to right. When you make a suggestion, that suggestion holds water. And now you have to guard that with everything, because the last thing you want to do is lose that trust, because it's almost impossible to get it back. But imagine if you have 100, 1,000, 10,000 people that listen to your every word because they feel like they're part of you and your tribe. And you make a suggestion that, hey, you should use this product or service because I do, and I know they bring value to me and they'll bring value to you. Not only does that help your customers or your listeners in this case, but imagine the sponsors that would be lining up to pay you just so that you can mention their name or run an ad or run a commercial on your show.
Man, I love that. I didn't know that, by the way. You and I just happened to be in harmony. I had no idea. Thank you so much for sharing that. I see that Nicole Brown Hurston put down an engaged listener leads to a loyal client. Jacqueline put that down, Jacqueline Golden. What's up, Jacqueline? Glad to meet you, man. An engaged listener leads to a loyal client. You got Brenda Graham out there. Brenda Graham's doing some amazing things in the healthcare field. Brenda, we still got to talk because there's some amazing things you're doing to help people improve their health, and we're going to be doing a health segment. And one thing she had talked to me about, and I shouldn't say Brenda, but a number of folks have, is just about, hey, there's some things I know I should have done a couple years ago, and to help get my brand and my message out. And podcasting is one of the ways. I will tell you that one of the fastest, easiest ways to get your message out of what you believe. And now we gave one way to monetize. If you're out there right now, I'm going to go to Klarque Garrison's page in a minute. We're going to see what he has going on over at the Convo. But if you're out there right now, you're thinking, Shay, I want to get the notes. Shay, I want to get the replay. Shay, there's a special bonus gift. Look, here's what you're going to do. I'm going to do something really special. I'm going to ask Klarque later to do something special. But I want you to text the word revenue in. If you are ready to be paid more for what you know, if you're ready and you have a story, you have a message, it is time to build your media empire. Listen very closely like you've never listened before and watch with new eyes right now. I want you to pick up your cell phone right now and I want you to text the word revenue. Text the word revenue. Text the word revenue to this number. You're going to text the word revenue to 202-999-3515. Again, text the word revenue. Now, this is for those that want to generate revenue. It's not about the money you're going to make. It's about the meaning you're going to have in the world. And you want to have more meaning in the world. You want to do more good in the world. You're ready to make a difference and a dollar. You just text the word revenue to 202-999-3515. Shay, what happens when I do that? Shay, what happens when I do that? Well, when you text the word revenue, don't call me. Don't call me. Some of you don't call. Text the word revenue to 202. Do that right now. When now? Text the word revenue to 202-999-3515. Even if you've done it before. Once you do that, it's going to give you very specific instructions. Now, if you text the word revenue before, do it again. Make sure you get the notes, make sure you get the bonus gift, and get the business toolbox. Now, here's what I want you to do. We talked about how to monetize, number one. I had a few on my list, and I'm just going on my list because I got the microphone. But number two way is to really monetize is podcasting creates your digital marketing content hub. Let me say it again. Some of y'all are texting the word revenue right now to 202-999-3515. But I want you to put down number two. Amber, I'll make sure Klarque Garrison reaches out to you. Klarque Garrison, write that word down. Amber Woods. She wants to know, do you help people even get started? The answer to that question is yes. Make sure you write that down. He even has his own platform, which I'm going to show in a few minutes. Number two, put down podcasting creates digital marketing content hub. That's a place where your content at least housed that people can access when you're not there. I know that sounds overly simplistic. Some of you are like, duh, Shay, duh. But this isn't a conversation around what you've heard before. It's not a conversation around what you know. It's a conversation around what are you doing every moment of every minute of every day to create your own digital marketing content hub so you can be paid more for what you know than you can do. And I will tell you that when you're crafting the right original type of content, it can be taxing on your time. It can take some resources. But in the short term, that's what you're going to feel. In the long term, you create a legacy and you will have a robust marketing campaign. Let me say that again. A robust marketing campaign. So you out there listening right now, look right below the video. What's up, Justin Burns? See you tomorrow in Atlanta, buddy. See you tomorrow in Atlanta. You got Robert on the line. Robert going to be up early in the morning tomorrow with you, by the way. He's on the line right now. Yeah, that's Klarque Garrison. He's live. Don't worry about it. He has unlimited energy. Put down number two. Podcasting creates a digital marketing content hub. I'm going to ask Klarque to talk about that. We're going to look at his page because when we say a hub, that's a place they go to hear your information. And you can parlay your podcast content into a strategy that you can use by doing a few simple tasks. And he's going to talk about that, how to create the content, how you can repurpose the content on social media posts, on your email list, on your blogs, and your ebook, and your membership portal. You can repurpose the content. So someone put down number two. Thanks a lot, Jacqueline. But put number two so they know it's number two. We're going to go probably over 5 of these. But put number two, create digital marketing content hub. And if you're listening right now and you don't have that, you're like, Shay, I don't even have that. Oh, my gosh, Shay. Oh, my gosh. I know, but I'm not doing it. It's okay. It's okay. Here's what I want you to do. Text the word revenue to 202-999-3515. Again, 202-999-3515. Okay. All right. take it away, Klarque Garrison, about number 2.
So I think that's a great point you point out. So let's think of this as if this is your digital marketing hub, meaning that for me in my show, The Conversation.
It's called what, The Conversation?
The Conversation, this is the name of my show.
Okay,
each week.
What's the website? I'm gonna put Klarque on the spot. Don't worry.
The
He can handle
website
this.
is because I'm on my own network, but our network has 16 other shows around the United States. But it's Survival Radio Network.
Ladies and gentlemen, hold on. I'm gonna put him on the spot. I'm gonna go to his website. We're gonna see if this thing even works. He's talking. Let me see here. Klarque, don't because I gotta. Can you guys pull that up? Okay, let's pull it up. Let's see if we can do this. If I do it right, it'll be a miracle. Let me see. Well, that wasn't right. Hold me hit cancel. Wait a minute. I'm almost canceled the show. Wait a minute. I did something wrong. Oh, no, I gotta go.
Do that.
Hold up. Give me a second. I'm gonna see if I can get it. We're close. There we go. Okay.
There we go.
Please update the lazy. Okay, so I got to update, but I can't do that right now. I'm not updating now. Okay, now. All right, so I'm on Klarque Garrison's page. He's talking about digital marketing content hub. All right, Klarque, talk away. Now, I'm going to suggest everyone go over to survivalradionetwork.com. What's going on, Ebony Young? Thanks a lot. Yeah, put that right below. Put his website down, www.survivalradionetwork. All right, Klarque.
And it's actually .us, not .com, .us.
I'm sorry, .us. survivalradionetwork.us. All right, Klarque, we're here. Okay, so you got the convo with Klarque and Michelle. Okay, I like that. What is the convo about, by the way?
So the conversation is having an organic conversation with people around the world who inspire, motivate, and educate others. So people who are doing what you talked about earlier, who are giving back. And we like to hear about their journeys because oftentimes the only thing we see is their greatness. We don't see the story or the journey of how they got there. And so what we uncover is how did they get there? How did they become the person that we see today?
Oh man, okay. How do I get on there? Can you add me to the list? You have not because you asked not, ladies and gentlemen. You have not because you asked not. So I'm asking, can I get on the show?
You are on the list. Let's go. Let's do it.
All right, y'all heard that, ladies and gentlemen. I will be on the convo. I suggest you get your own show as well, by the way. You can have people on your show. Okay, I love this. You've had all type of folks on here. Healthy. So you do different topics. So it's not all just one topic. Am I reading that correctly?
So it's not topical at all. It's all about the individual. So whether you're an author, a doctor, a lawyer, a coach, an athlete, a musician, a singer, it's about your journey and not so much what genre you fall into.
Oh, wow. And who are these people on the side?
Where are we at? Which side? Where it says,
let's see.
So that's Richard Lawson, who's married to.
So let's see, is it playing? Can you hear it? Is that playing? Okay. Oh, I see. So it's actually one of the shows. Okay, that's cool. I love how you do that. We're talking about a content. Now, some people are texting, how can I get more information on this talk show about bullying in school? Oh, all right. So, Klarque, is there a place on the website they can go, and how do they contact you? And then you got a beautiful host. Oh, Michelle. I know Michelle. She's so cool. Oh, my gosh.
Yeah, she's out of D.C. area.
Yeah, I know her. Hampton. She went to Hampton University. All right,
there you go.
Okay, so if they want to contact you, they hit the Contact Us button here?
Yes, if they want to contact me, just go to the contact button and just input your information on whatever it is, whether you're interested in information about podcasting, our network, or whatever it is. That's the best place to find me.
Okay, got it. Okay, so we're talking about, I'm going to look at this page while he's talking, you guys. He's talking about Digital Marketing Content Hub, by the way. Digital Marketing Content Hub. So finish talking about that, by the way.
All right. So what's cool about that? So I was talking about my show. When I record my show each Wednesday night at 7 p.m., it's an hour show. I have a digital content information that I can utilize in so many ways. Mm-hmm. So one of the things that you can do, just to toss out, is you can repurpose that information. So what I do is on our show, we typically interview 1 to 2 guests. I will then go back and take that download, which is in an MP3 file. I will edit it down to just the intro and when the guest leaves, which is usually about 15 minutes of content, actual content, right? Mm-hmm. And I'll put that on SoundCloud. I may even take that. If you go to our YouTube page, you'll see where I've taken the audio.
YouTube page? Okay, hold on.
Yep.
I'm going to go to the YouTube page. Well, he's had some celebrity guests. Ladies and gentlemen, we all got to have our picture on here. Woohoo! Put me on the celebrity guest. Look at the list that goes. Look at all these celebrity guests. Oh, my God. Allison Bird's in the house. Oh, you got to have my picture up here. I'm glad Trevor Haas not up here. I'd really be jealous. All right. Let me. Okay.
Let's see. Can we go to SoundCloud? That would be a better.
Okay.
I want to get that.
No problem. Is there a button on here to go to SoundCloud?
It is not. That's something we just jumped off. It's the best of the conversation. So SoundCloud.com and then / Klarque Garrison. KLARQUE. /
Oh, let me go here. / Klarque KCLARQ. And your name?
KLARQUE Garrison.
Okay. Okay, I messed something up. I spelled something wrong, huh?
Yep. KLARQUE.
Then Garrison, right?
GARRISON.
Yes, I must have did something wrong. It's not saying, oops, can't find it.
Okay. What if, is it a search in? Maybe we just search Klarque Garrison right there.
Let me do that. Ladies and gentlemen, rule number 1, don't panic. Under stress
Never panic.
extreme, we are, no, okay, so I got to go here, and then how do Clark.
Yep.
Do I have something on here? I gotta talk to Trevor Haas about this. Klarque Garrison, the
There we
conversation.
go.
This is it right here?
That's it.
Do I click on it?
Well, that's, it should, those below it, but it should go to the page if you click on it.
Okay, I put follow. Oh, I gotta log in. Okay, I ain't doing all that right now. Let me.
No, you don't have to do that. Just go back and I'll just show you because it did show some of the.
Now he's showing us how we can repurpose our content, ladies
Yep.
and gentlemen. I have a login, Clark. Now I don't have one. I just can't remember what it is. Klarque Garrison. I'm embarrassed. I promise. I have a podcast, ladies and gentlemen, and I'm not doing what I should be doing with it. All right, here we go. So you had Les Brown on here, right?
Yeah, I've interviewed him, so that's just a snippet of that podcast, and we call that the best.
Hold on. Let me hear something. Hold on. Oh, there it is. So it's playing right now. Can you hear it?
Yes.
Wow. So you can take the audio and just put it directly up here.
I can take, and that's not even the full show. That's just the part that we interviewed or asked Les some questions. And I could have narrowed that down to a specific thing he talked about, or I could have extended it out. But I did it once, like he talked about the hub. It was done on our show, and now I've used it to do, and I called it the best of the conversation. And so we've been going back periodically, going back to the hundreds of shows that I've done and taken some of the key people we've interviewed and narrowed it down to just their conversation and now repurposed it on something like a SoundCloud. But you can do this for iTunes. You can do this for Stitcher.
That's like really cool, man. I'm looking at it. I'm looking at it, and that's like really cool. Look, if you're out there and you're listening right now and you're thinking to yourself, I need a content hub. I need a content hub. Do me a favor. Look right below the video and we'll see the note and just put I need a digital marketing content hub. Put I need a digital marketing content hub and just put at Klarque Garrison because he's walking us through some things he's been able to do and he's talking about repurposing now. This is how you monetize what you have. So number 1, we talked about what number 1 was. We talked about number 2. But I want you to just go ahead. I'm not asking you to do something that's a secret because if you had a podcast, many of you would have wrote the podcast down. That's the first thing you to put down. My podcast page is blank. I didn't see that. So I want to create another revenue stream for you.
Yeah.
As you're building your media empire. And Clark is an easygoing guy. He's easy to work with. Even if you've never done this before in your life and you're like, okay, Shay, I feel really dumb. It's like, I know I get some microphone somewhere, and I know I need something. I'll have him get into that later. But you just put down, I need a digital marketing content hub. And I don't want you to show up again when Clark comes back. And I'm going to ask Clark if he'll be a content producer in a little while. But I want Klarque Garrison to be able to say, when I was there, your podcast wasn't there. And now, here's your podcast. Go to this SoundCloud page. Like, I'm embarrassed. Like, if you type in Shay Brown on SoundCloud, I don't even know who even comes up. I'm just so embarrassed. I'm going to go just for fun. I got to see. Clark, I need a content hub, buddy. I'm going to go in here, and I'm going to tell you, I have not done this, ladies and gentlemen. I'm doing this like real time, and it's about, make sure they can see Clark. I'm doing this about as real time as I can. And if I went and put your name in right now, does anything come up, right? Does anything come up? So let's just put it in Shay Brown. Let's just see. Is there a Shay Brown thing out there? Something went wrong. There is no Shay Brown. That's impossible. I got a content page. Let's put in the Happy Entrepreneur. What the heck? I got to talk to my team. Where's Trevor Otts at? I need a content hub, Trevor Otts. I'm embarrassed. INTREPR. A Happy Entrepreneur. Okay. All right. Well, I got something going on here. I don't know. Okay, I got something here. I don't know why my name didn't come up. That's dumb.
There you go.
That's the dumbest thing I heard. How can that come up and not my name? Isn't that dumb? Nope, there's no Shay Brown. Oh, there's a Shay Brown. All right, there's a Shay Brown. I'm about to say I better have there's a lot of Shay Browns. Okay, I need a content hub. Okay, Cheryl Diane says, I need a content hub. Ebony says, I need a content hub. Clark. Okay, see, I need whoa, I got a pretty cool page here. What is all this stuff? I forgot about this. All right, sales cardiology. You know how long I had 222 episodes? Get out of here. 10 minutes to double your sales podcast. I forgot about that podcast, Clark. Oh my gosh. All right.
You're even better than you already know.
No, I'm not, because I only got one episode on here, and I don't know why I got two here, and 222 episodes. Gee, Moniz. I don't remember this. Oh, this was a long time ago. I remember this now. Okay. So I'm gonna come back and I'm gonna do these topics over again, Clark. Can I go back and do these topics over? Like, this is probably like, what's the year on this thing? Okay, 4 years ago. Oh my gosh.
Wow.
Yeah. I didn't know that thing exists. Oh, I like this. I gotta find out what that banner is. Okay, back over here, Clark. I got distracted. My graphics team does such a good job that they got a banner from a while ago that still looks good. Okay. So Nicole says, I need a content hub. Jacqueline says, I need a content hub. Okay. Alyssa says, I need a digital marketing content hub. Fred said that. All right. Clark, give him one more idea, because now y'all all need to go over and make sure that when you go to his page, Survival Radio Network, can you see that, Clark? Because I just clicked over here.
Yep.
Make sure you go to Contact Us. Make sure you fill this out, by the way. Fill this out. Ebony, give me a call. We got to talk. We're going to have a content hub, all right? You and I'm making a commitment right now. We're going to have a content hub. Why? Because today is my January 1st. I'm starting today. Klarque Garrison, I need a content hub. I'm laughing, but I'm being dead serious. You're wondering why you're not making any money using the podcast. You're believing it's oversaturated, but guess what? You're not there. And you got a story. You have a message. You have expertise. You've been through some things in life. And why hold back and not let other people benefit from what you know? You have the #1 podcast master in the country that I'm aware of. No, I'm being dead serious. When it comes to online radio, if you were to come to me and say, Shay, where can I go? Shay, who has done this with more artists? Shay, who's had a blog show radio? Shay, who understands the camera? Shay, who understands audio, who understands the equipment, who understands, and I'm going to ask him to talk about that. Look, I can't keep him here all night, okay? But I'm going to ask him to talk a little bit about programming. Where would I send you? And truthfully, I wouldn't know where to send you to get the knowledge, the expertise, and the experience, and the I care about you type of business guy. Like, where would I send you? I don't know. And so I'm going to encourage you all to reach out to Klarque Garrison. I'm going to encourage you all right now to go to the page, survivalradionetwork.us. And I'm going to encourage you right now to fill it out. Like, I want you to stop whatever you're doing right now, and I want you to go fill out that contact form. And when you fill it out, just come back and say, Shay, I fill out the contact form. Now, Kiara is asking me where to go. Clark's going to put the website on where to go right below the video. I'm going to go on here. I'm on the page. I can't keep coming here because Clark's going to kick me out. He's going to be like, Shay, I'm not going to come back to your show. People want to know how long they're going to be here. I don't know, but we're here with the people. We're with you. You're the people. So you go to survivalradionetwork.us. Then once you go there, there's a button all the way on the right-hand side that says Contact Us. You're going to click on that button. That you can do, right? And once you click on that button, Contact Us, click on the button, you're going to fill out this form here. Now, once you fill that form out, then someone from his office or someone will contact you directly. Now, I'm going to ask Clark. He can't do it for all of you. His schedule, I know, will not permit that. But I'm going to ask him to at least maybe contact maybe 5 of you who do it. So the universe rewards people who take action differently than those that don't. So if you go there and fill it out, maybe the first 5 people, he might send you a personal text tomorrow or the next 24 hours, and you might get a one-on-one meeting with Clark himself. I can't guarantee that. But Clark,
Shay, what I would like to offer is the first 5 people that go and do that now, and they state that they're from your show, I will do a free 30-minute consultation with them over the phone. We'll talk about, and you can ask me any question under the sun. We'll sit and develop and scheme to get you jump started, or at least if nothing else, push you in the right direction.
Look, I'm gonna suggest right now that you head over there right now. If there was ever a time for you to do it, now is that time for you to go over there and make that happen. And you might say, Shay, why? Shay, why? Well, one, it's time for you to monetize what you know. I want to share this with you. This is just a saying, and it's something that comes from my good friend, none other than Delano Johnson. And he wrote a book that's just amazing. I want you to step back. For those that fill out the form, I want you to hear this, and then we're going to talk about how to monetize your podcast and the number one reason why. Delano, let's go ahead and share that with him if you would. And it should be coming.
I live in a city where there are more creative people per square mile than any other place on the planet. Question is, how many of them are successful? How many are just like I was, talented and broke? Being broke is more than just not having money. It's failure to turn opportunities into profitable businesses and relationships that last. My mother always said, people perish for lack of knowledge. A compass takes you in the direction of your destiny, but knowledge of obstacles and distractions will ensure you arrive safely. My mentor once said to me, if I had half your talent, I'd have 4 times my wealth. Since then, I made a promise to God. If he would help me unlock my earning potential, I would pay it forward and help others do the same. That's why I wrote this book, because God made us too talented to live our lives broke. And that includes you.
One of the reasons I wanted to share that message from Delano, and I want you to write this right below. It's one of the books, and it's one of the reasons why I want you to monetize your message. Jot this down in your notes. Look right below the video and just write this mantra down. Refuse to live talented and broke. Put this down right below the video. Look right below the video. Hey, Fred Willis, thanks for joining. Ebony, it's always a pleasure. Look right below the video and put refuse to live talented and broke. Refuse to live talented and broke. Hashtag it's my time. Just right now, I want you to write this one mantra down, because it's your time to start your podcast. It's your time to be paid for what you know. It's your time to be paid based on your experience. It's your time to leave a legacy behind that when you leave here and the hourglass is draining on all of us, someone is still benefits. So I want you to look right below the video, and write these words. Refuse to live talented and broke. Refuse to live talented and broke. And that's just a mantra. That's just a belief system that you can have right now in this present moment. And one of the ways to do that is through podcasting. And I want you to know that podcasting brings you a step closer to being a published author, by the way. It brings you a step closer because now you have the content. Now you have the message. Now you have the topics. Now you have the transcription. Now you have the content the marketing content hub that you can take and you can package that and give it to someone to write. Refuse to live talented and broke. Hashtag it's my time. Refuse to live talented and broke. Hashtag it's my time. What am I asking you to write? Why am I asking you to write that? Because I want that to sink into your subconscious brain. When I heard that, I said to myself, man, wow. You mean to tell me that I've got the talent? God's given me the gift. He's packed the knowledge already here for me. And he's given me this knowledge not for me, but to pass through me for the people I'm called to serve. Because you have a vision for yourself and how you want to live. And sales helps you to really develop the resources to execute that vision. You have a vision for your loved ones, and you have a vision for the people you were called to serve. And so now you got to serve those people. Refuse to live talented and broke. Hashtag it's my time. I want you to write that not just for yourself, but I want you to hit the like button to someone else that hit it. I want you to hit the heart button for someone else. Why am I asking you to write that? Because when another entrepreneur reads that, Brenda Graham, when another entrepreneur reads that, Amber Woods, Nicole, when another person's reading this, or they're a youth or they're a millennial, and they just see those words, refuse to live talented and broke, Desiree Brown, what that speaks to them is, it's time for me to not to get ready, but it's time for me to be ready. And you are hashtag already born ready. And so I say that because this is your year. This is your month. This is your time. I refuse to live talented and broke. And broke is a relative term. Some of you want to write a check for your family's health insurance or your family's mortgage. Some of you want to write a check to start a school in your community. Some of you want to write a check for a cause you believe in. You want to fund that. Some of you want to walk from your 9-to-5 job. So talented and broke is a relevant term, but here's what I know that I know. You refuse to live talented and broke. Brenda Waller, I see you. I need a digital content hub. Look, if you hear me and you hear my heart, I want you to know that you need a digital content hub. I'm making a commitment. I was talking to Klarque, getting prepared for this, and I said, yeah, Klarque, we have this podcast. Yeah, Klarque, we're doing this. But really, the team hasn't been moving, I can tell by SoundCloud, and doing some of the things that I thought was getting done. Now, I'm still responsible at the end of the day, okay? And it's some administrative work that has to get done. But I know one thing. When you see me next time, we will have a digital content hub. And every one of you who wrote that, we're going to be part of the secret club. And that's why I want you to text the word revenue. Text the word revenue right now to 202-999-3515. We're going to start this little secret club. And we're going to get things done. And we're going to build our content, our digital content hub. And yeah, will we make money with the podcast? Well, for certain. But will we impact more lives? Yeah. Will we have more income? Yeah. Will we make $1 and a difference? Yeah. Yeah. One of the things my good friend Delator McNeil says is that you got to see it before you see it, or you will never see it. Right? He says you got to see it before you see it, or you'll never see it. So I'm asking Klarque to help you see what is possible for you right now. Now, I'm not here begging you. Whether you do a podcast or not, I'm going to still be here. Okay? Klarque's going to still be doing what he's doing. But what I know is that together we can do this. We can do this, and we're going to do it. All right, Klarque, I went on a rant, and that happens. For all of you who right now are texting the word revenue to 202-999-3515, looking forward to connecting with you. I'm going to ask Klarque to share just another strategy, and then we got to bring this thing down the home stretch, on how to monetize your podcast. Okay, you've got the expert over there. I see you hitting the heart button. If you feel me, just say, Shay, I feel you. I see you, Alyssa Mitchell. Shay Dunn went to the website. Thanks for the opportunity. Alyssa Mitchell said she took action. Thanks a lot. J.S. Singh said, I need a digital content hub. Thank you for mentioning that. Balikas Walker, I see you. I need a digital content hub. I see you. It's going to happen. Klarque, they know they need it. Just talk a little bit about the 1, 2, and 3s of getting a podcast up and going, because I'm feeling that I'm not alone. I came here to teach tonight, and guess what? I'm being taught. Okay, and I'm okay with that. I'm the first one to do something about it. And you won't, when you see me again next time, I'm gonna talk to Trevor Otts. I'm gonna have a podcast page. I'm gonna be a little more on SoundCloud. What you're hearing right now, you won't be hearing it, watching. Many of you be listening to it, and I won't have to push it through someone else's podcast. It'll be on the Happy Entrepreneur podcast. Holla at your boy. I'm making a statement right now. All right, Clark, over to you. I'm done. I've ramped. Over to you, my man. What can they do what's another idea they can do to monetize their podcast? And what are some things they can do for the newbies that are out there saying, oh my gosh, how can I do this? Kiana says, me too. She's all aboard. JS Singh says she went to the website. JS Singh, did you fill it out? That's the question.
That's the question.
Yeah. So what's something else they can do? I'll stay off my rants. By the way, I said number 1 was engaged listeners lead to loyal clients. Somebody put that down. Number 2 was podcasting creates digital marketing content. Someone put that down. That was number 2. Number 3, as I said, podcast brings you closer to being a published author. A published author, for those that want to do that, it brings you a step closer to that. Again, Desiree, I see you. I text the number. I got it. And then give us one more, and then we'll bring it down. We'll give them the secret bonus.
So I'll give you one more. I think that's a brilliant thing, by the way. Published author, you can take those podcasts and, like Shay said, transcribe them. And let's say you did, 50 shows. That's your book. You just transcribe the shows, figure out a topic, and get you an editor, and there you go. You don't have to recreate the wheel. But here's something that I think about all the time. First of all, if you don't have a podcast, your competition will. Now,
I like that. If you don't have a podcast, someone write that down. Don't let them slide that by you. Feel cool. Go ahead and write that down. If you don't have a podcast, your competition will. Put that down. If you don't have a podcast, your competition will. What's up, Tur Avant? She'll be on here tomorrow night, by the way, depending on when you're watching this. But she's an author out there. All right, go on, Clark. What were you saying? Sorry.
So with that being said, I always get the example of if I were a lawyer, the first thing I would do is start a podcast, because here's what I could do. Let's say if I was an attorney who specialized in DUIs, and I had a podcast, and each week I talked about things you should do if you got stopped by the cops. Mm-hmm. Okay? And I built the listenership up. And one week I talked about the rules of engagement. The next week I talked about what are your true laws? What are your rights as a citizen? Should you take the breathalyzer test? And so I gave this information to you freely. I talked about how you should have your lawyer's business card in your wallet at all times should something happen. Now you will listen to my show every week consistently, over and over and over. When you get stopped for DUI, who is the attorney you think you're going to call? The guy with the podcast.
person I've been listening to that I built trust with. Yes.
Yeah, the guy with the podcast who you've been listening to and you feel like is the guru and he has your best interest, you're part of his tribe, or the other people who said they don't have enough time for it, they can't afford it, it doesn't make any sense, everybody else got one. Do you think they're going to call those people, or they're going to call the person that I just talked about? And that's your way to make revenue through advertising in a way your services, but you're doing it in a way where you're giving the audience information, and then they start to trust you, and you are the person that they're going to call. Now, that was just a lawyer. You could be a baker, you could be a life coach, you could be a plumber, you could be an HVAC guy, you could be a coach. I mean, anything that you can think of, that same example applies to.
I love it. That's like a golden nugget. Clark just gave you like a golden nugget. Now, someone asked the question, how much does the podcast cost? I know it ranges. Can you talk about that just a little bit, by the way? And yes, Kiana, that's Karisha. I hope I pronounced that correctly. Friend, thanks so much for asking the question, by the way. No question is a dumb question. It really isn't. So I thought I'd just go ahead and ask them.
It is not. They truly do range, and the thing you have to figure out is what kind of podcast you want to have, and that's where we sit down. And if you're one of the top 5 that reaches out. By the way, I think if I'm looking at my screen right, there's 2 more spots. And so I would recommend so that we can really go through the nuts, and I just don't give you a bland answer to that. Go to our website, contact page, say that you were on the the Happy Entrepreneur Show with Shay Brown, and I will be able to speak with you in detail on that. But the answer is there are some free outlets out there, and there's some hundreds of dollar outlets out there. It just depends on how big, where do you want to start from? Do you have a support system? Are you by yourself? Are you part of a team? A lot of things go into that before I give you just a blanket price range or price for it.
No, that's very fair. That's very reasonable. Thanks so much for mentioning that, Klarque. I certainly appreciate it. Sean Brinkley, thanks for joining. Thanks all you for asking the question. Now, Annette is asking the question: is there a such thing as reading a podcast for children? Reading podcasts for children. Is there a such thing as reading podcasts for children? I don't know, Klarque. Do you need a little more depth?
Yeah, I'm not entirely sure what that means. If she can give me more detail or type in the box a little bit more detail what you mean by that question, I'll be glad to answer it. But let me just say this: you can do a podcast on basket weaving. There's literally nothing that you can't do a podcast on. Literally nothing you can't do. So if you can think it, you can create a podcast on it. You just have to think about, okay, who my audience is and how best do I find them? Is it a podcast on SoundCloud? Is it YouTube? Is it Lisbon? Is it a Blog Talk Radio? There's so many other outlets, so you really have to narrow that down to first who is your target audience, and then work backwards from it, reverse engineering it to figure out how best to get to them.
I love that. That's a really good answer, by the way. Thanks so much for sharing. What about let me give you guys just a quick list, and I'll have Klarque maybe comment on 1 or 2 things. How do you monetize your podcast? He's given some of the best ideas out there. Let me say number 1 that's very popular is sell sponsorships. So someone look right below the video and put sell sponsorships. And you can sell a sponsorship based on the downloads. You can sell it based on your content, but sell sponsorships. Talk about that, Klarque Garrison, about being prepared to sell sponsorships and not how to do it. That's a topic for another time, but just about the importance of being prepared to do that. And Belikas Walker is asking us to repeat your website. Can you put that below again? I think she tuned in a little later. It's survivalradionetwork.us. Klarque will put that out there. While he's doing that, I'm going to give you about a couple ideas while he's typing that down. He'll talk about sales sponsorships. Go ahead, Klarque. Talk about that for a moment. Then we're coming down the home stretch. Klarque is in overtime, y'all. No, he's probably in a triple overtime. I'm
enjoying it, and I'll be back in the morning. So listen, that's the number one way to gain to monetize your show is through, as Shay said, sponsorship. The traditional way, the way that most people understand it, which is based on your listenership, it's based on consistency, and it's based on your topic. And I say topic because you have to think about who your listeners are, and you reverse engineer it. If my listeners are women from the age of 35 to 50 with discretionary income, that is the key demographics of anybody who's selling anything. And so but let's say I had a sports show. Obviously, you wouldn't be selling women's product traditionally on an all sports show, but you would sell anything that is related to sports, whether that would be tennis shoes, equipment, workout gear, things to heal yourself, all of those things. You can just start thinking about the number of things that particular audience or people who sell stuff would want to get in front of that audience. And so sponsorship, here's the key about sponsorship. It's something that you just don't start day one because you haven't proven anything. So many people that I know get in this business, the first thing they're like, okay, my podcast is up. How much money can I make? Well, probably nothing at the moment, unless someone just loves you because, hey, you're Shay Brown. They're going to follow you because you have a track record of doing something else. But if you don't have that, you've got to put in some time. You've got to do some shows. You've got to get better. You've got to prove that you're going to be there, because no one is going to spend money on someone who's going to quit in 6 weeks. So that's where all of that comes in, putting in the time, building up a great show, building an audience. And here's the last misnomer I'll say on that is most people think you have to have a gazillion followers in order to get a sponsor. Remember what I talked about before. Is it better for someone to have 10,000 people who are following them who won't do anything the person says, or 100 people and all 100 will go left if you say go left? So it's not about how many people you have. It's what you can do with the people who are listening. And so what you can do to figure that out is give them little things like Shay did just now. He asked everybody to type in all of these things. A lot of you did it. More than half of you did exactly what he says. So what that would tell me is no matter how many people Shay has, he has their attention and respect. So I would spend money with him on this show right now. Whether it was, let's say it was, we have 21 people on here now. If I knew that if Shay said Klarque Garrison is the best thing since sliced bread, 21 people, if they had the need, would come to me or will come to me when they do have the need, whatever that product or service is, then he is valuable. More valuable than the next guy who has 10,000 people and they could care less of what he's saying.
Mm-hmm. Wow, that's power. So it's about engagement over the numbers. It's about engagement. Back in the day, it was about just building numbers, but today's time is certainly about engagement. Don't worry, we're coming down the home stretch. We're just about done. I'm going to ask Klarque Garrison in just a moment if he'll do two things for us, and then I'm going to ask him to have some closing comments. And I just want to go quickly to our good friend over there, Letitia Nicole, because what Klarque is talking about is going to take some focus. What Klarque is talking about is going to take some action. But I want you to make a commitment right now that you will start your podcast in the next 30 days. Like, if you're willing and you're ready, just look right below the video, and just put, it's time to start my podcast. We know you need a content hub. The question is, what are we going to do about it? It's time to start my podcast. It doesn't cost you much to get going. It's time to start my podcast, Jay. It's time. I need that content marketing hub right now. And I know you got to stay focused. I know there's some things, and Letitia Nicole is going to help us.
Hello, everybody. It's your girl, Letitia Nicole, and today is my January the 1st. But before I start with my Monday motivation thought of the week, I want to say thank you so much, Shay Brown, for making this amazing group of happy entrepreneurs. They are simply wonderful. So today, my thought of the week. First, I have to speak life and say you will stay focused on your profitable, amazing business. You will stay focused on your amazing, profitable business. Now, I'm going to give you 5 tips on how to stay focused on your business. Now, number 1, set up your day the night before. I'm going to say it again. Set up your day the night before. Number 2, do the most difficult task first. Number 2, do the most difficult task first. Number 3, don't allow those distractions to be your main attraction. Bye time wasters. Don't even let them in. How? By writing them down so when they come and you see them, you say, peace. No, I'm doing my work. I got some revenue goals that I want to meet, and you are a time waster. Okay? Number 4, protect your energy. Regenerate yourself by walking away from the computer, by sitting that pen and piece of paper down. Protect your energy. And number 5, listen, always constantly remind yourself of your goals. Always remind yourself of your goals. So, my name is Letitia Nicole. I use these tips for myself every day. They keep me grounded. They keep me focused. And guess what? I too get distracted. All right. So let's continue to write our goals down and stay focused on our business. Until next time, I want you to write down 5 goals that you want to accomplish tomorrow. All right. Do it today. My name is Letitia Nicole, and I speak life so that we all may have life more abundantly. Peace and blessings. Bye-bye.
Peace and blessings. I love it. And you already wrote down one goal. It's time to start my podcast. Klarque, I'm going to ask. We only have so much time. We went in triple overtime already. And, one of the things I like to do is, one, have you back on the show. So we got to have you on the show. We got to dedicate a small amount of time to go deeper in one particular area. As I do that, if Klarque's done a good, one of the things I like to do as we close out is, first, let's give Klarque Garrison a digital applause. Let's give him a digital applause. Now, if you're watching for the first time, you're like, Shay, digital applause? What is that? Here's how you give a digital applause. You can look right below the video, and just put "Great job, Klarque," or put "Good job, Klarque," or put "Thank you, Klarque," Klarque. Thank you, Klarque, or I appreciate you, Klarque. Or you can just hit the heart button. You can just hit the like button. You can just put a clap by there. And that is a digital applause that you appreciate the time that Klarque has spent with us. Because one thing we know is you can always make more money, but you can't make more time. And so he's given us the most precious resource that he has right now, and that's his time. And we appreciate you, the listener. We appreciate you, the viewer, one, for showing up. So thank you so much. Two, for hitting that share button. I can't tell you how much that helps us. We appreciate it. It allows us to allow this show to come to you every single day that we can. We appreciate you. And number three, my digital note takers. Some of you show up, and many of you I met for the first time. I never even met you before. But you're here, and you're sharing the good news with another entrepreneur. Let me let you know, it matters. Every time you show up, it matters. Sometimes you show up at these events, and it's no big deal. I go to events all the time. Sometimes it's no big deal. And then sometimes I show up, and I get one idea. And how many ideas do you need to really change your life? Well, let me answer that question for you. That's right. One good idea implemented is better than 1,000 ideas you know right now. And I'm here to tell you, you've got some good ideas, but they're only as good as you're going to implement. That's why I say one good idea implemented is better than 1,000 ideas you know right now. You are amazing. You are a superstar. You have so much greatness deep inside you. And I do want to recognize Alyssa, who says, thank you so much. Great show. Amber says, great work. Balika says, clap, clap, clap. Malika's put in, set up the day before. She took great notes. CF Jackson says, appreciate you, Klarque. Desiree, what's up, Desiree? Looking forward to meeting you. Put thank you so much. Fred Willis put thank you, Klarque. Annette put great job, Klarque. Cheryl, what's up, Cheryl? Diane, boy, you are just amazing. I love it. She put, I appreciate you, Klarque. J.S. Singh put great job, Klarque. Brenda Graham, what are you doing up, Brenda Graham? She's on the East Coast, by the way. She is just, wow. Brenda. We gotta talk. I know we missed. We gotta talk. I gotta have that wellness segment. We gotta do that. Nicole Brown Hurston said, Klarque, thanks for your time and your knowledge. Ebony Young is in Hampton, Virginia, by the way. Just amazing. Oh, she's in North Carolina. Amazing person. Put great job, great teaching tonight, Klarque. She's a student. She's just like us, by the way. So she's one of our peers. Annette Smith put the spelling of your name, Klarque, Klarqu. Is the bomb. Ha ha, she's listening. Balika says, awesome job, Klarque. So Klarque, with that out there, I've got to ask you, would you be okay with being one of our content producers, right? And our content producers are regularly sharing their content. And the way they do that is sometimes they can show up live, and other times they're able to go pre-record and share on Monday or Momentum Monday. And I know you're busy. I know you get a lot of requests, but you have not because you asked not. And so I'm going to ask you right now. Ebony said, I'm in South Carolina, Shay. All right. Sorry. I don't have no notes up here. I'm doing the best I can. No, I'm joking. South Carolina in the house. There, you got your shout out. What part of South Carolina? We'll shout you all the way out. If you're from anywhere in the country, just put where you're from. I'm from Washington, D.C., all right? Washington, D.C. in the house. But Klarque, will you be one of our content producers and talk about building a media empire so folks can tune in? They can go into the Happy Entrepreneurs Tribe. They can take the information you're sharing, and not only can they enjoy it, but they can share it out to their public network as well. And that's one of the things we like about the Happy Entrepreneurs Tribe is we take content from everybody. We take all the best ideas because we are a family, and then we share them out to other folks. So just know whatever you share and you put in there, you're giving us permission to share it out. Can you hear me, Klarque?
Yes. So I wasn't sure if you was finished, but to answer your question, I think I mentioned this many moons ago when we first met. and I absolutely saw that you were the real deal. If there's anything that I can be a part of that you have, I'm in. So that my answer is absolutely yes.
Well, thank you so much. I'm looking forward to that. By the way, we got Nicole Brown Hurston said she's from Columbus, Ohio. Okay, you got your shout out. J.S. Singh said Kansas City, Missouri. You got your shout out. Amber said thank you. The DMV, DC, Maryland, and Virginia. Don't worry, Klarque Garrison is from Atlanta, by the way. He has a family. He has a lot going on. Klarque, as we close out right now, will you take a few minutes and just share your closing comments, man? I know you work with different folks at different levels. I know you work with some people who are very, very new, and it can be scary when you're new, but you walk them through the process. But you also work with folks who are very experienced. They're speakers already. That's for my speakers. They're already writing books. That's for all my authors. They're already being paid as a coach. That's for all my certified coaches with letters behind your name. You work with both of those type of individuals because you meet them where they are. Share your closing comments, if you can, that maybe empower, maybe inspire someone to continue moving forward as an entrepreneur, as a business owner, so they get the results they're looking for in their life.
So let me start by saying I wanted to throw these numbers out just so you guys can understand the kinds of money that we're talking about. In 2003, the revenue growth from internet radio was around $49 million. And 3 years later, that number jumped to 500 million. And today it's $1 billion industry. So think about that for a minute. We're talking about starting a podcast from your humble beginnings and growing it, and you now plug into $1 billion revenue business. So when you ask yourself, why would I do it? That seems like a good reason right there to get started. So when you talk about people who are seasoned, who are professionals, who've been doing whatever they've been doing for many, many moons, here's what I always say to them is that you need a team. And that's why I actually built Survival Radio Network, not because it wasn't out, there weren't other stations out there, or we thought that, we brought up something new or created this new dynamic. But what wasn't out there that I didn't see when I started was a team of individuals who could who you could plug into and have engineers and producers and content creators and education and the ability to learn how to be great as you grow your particular brand or product in this online media. It didn't exist at that time that I looked everywhere. So one of the things I'll say to you is most of you don't have time to do all of that minutia. You don't have time to go study and figure out what camera should you get, how to plug this in, what system out of all the podcasts, what works for me. Just like great people need coaches, you need someone who can walk you through this process and make it easier so that you can continue to do the things that you're already great at doing. So that's what I say to people, from whether you're the first person and this is the first time you even heard about a podcast or thought about it, or if you've had one in the past, it didn't quite do what it wanted for you. We can work with you to get over that hump. And here's in conclusion, just think about the 5 ways that I wrote down why you need a internet radio show. 1, become the guru. 2, expand your reach. 3, expand into new markets. 4, become media. And 5, monetize your show. And real quick, Shay, if I can say this about media, one of the best things.
Sure, man. Take your time. Take your time. It's all on you, my man.
Love it. I like it because I like to talk. I'm in radio.
Yeah, no, look. One of the things that I mentioned to you is that the benefit is that you're sharing content. If it takes you a couple of minutes, it's okay. There's not like a producer's going to yank me off right now. And for those folks that are listening, I want to let you know that Klarque is speaking from the heart. We didn't have a run sheet. There was no script tonight. There was no list of questions. Some guests, you must ask this question. Don't ask me any question out on this question. If it's one on the list, don't ask the question. And Klarque, you work with those type of folks. And there's nothing wrong with that. Everyone has their own different style. So I'm not bashing someone that says you must ask me these questions. I want you on the show. And I want to put you in the best light possible. But that's not what Klarque said. What Klarque said is, look, I'm here to serve. And ask any question, go any direction, as long as it benefits the audience. And so you right now, you that are listening, you that are paying this message forward, you that have shared it, you that have taken notes, you're hearing Klarque Garrison speak from the heart. And so, yeah, Clark, go ahead and take a few minutes and talk about media. It's okay.
Yeah. So one of the things most people don't understand is that new media is now part of a respectable journalist society. We talked about earlier how people are absorbing their news content from online capacity and online outlets. So what was strange is 5 years into this, I started getting media requests to cover things, and I'm like, I've never done that. And eventually, I talked to someone about what do they mean and how does this work. And so now I cover around the United States. I'm in Atlanta, so obviously I do a lot more here, but I'm invited to go to just about anything. And in fact, just to give you an idea, 3 days ago, Earth, Wind, and Fire was actually in Atlanta, my favorite group of all time. And someone reached out to me, manager reached out in a PR company, and heard that I was in media, heard our platform, we interview people like that, and said, hey, because we had Larry Dunn on our show before. Larry Dunn is a member of Earth, Wind, and Fire. And Philip Beatty had a nonprofit organization, and they said, hey, we want somebody to cover that. They called me. I was able to go out and spend an entire hour backstage, one-on-one with the three original members of Earth, Wind, and Fire, and it blew my mind. And I was sitting there in this euphoric mode, like all of this came because I started a podcast in 2009.
Well, I gotta ask, like, what did you learn? I mean, okay, look, this has nothing to do with podcasting, but he was with Earth, Wind, and Fire. Like, what's one golden nugget he walked away with? What is something they said? He's like, man, like, wow. Can you give us, without giving away all the goodies, can you tell us, like, what did you hear from someone that's been an entrepreneur, someone that's been in business, someone that's been in media? What did you glean away from that? Tell us. If you're listening, say, Clark, I'm listening. If you're out there right now, just so he knows you're tuned in, just put, I'm listening, Clark. I'm with you, Clark. I want to know, what did you learn from Earth, Wind, and Fire? Someone make sure we get this recorded. Clark, we're gonna replay this. You know that, Clark. You know that.
Hey, I learned a couple of things. And again, you got to forgive me because I didn't even know my name as I'm back there. I'm like, just be professional, point the camera, and make sure it's on record so you won't screw up. So, but here are a few things that I found out. I found out that Philip Bailey's daughter is their manager, and she's lovely. She's brilliant and smart, and she basically is the brains behind. She tells them where to go and when. I learned that they only use African Americans.
Hey, Clark, by the way, Nicole Brown Hurston said, I'm with you, Clark. I'm listening. Amber said, look, I'm still listening. Brendan Grant said, I'm not tired, Clark. I'm still listening. Malik Curdy says, I'm listening. Sharon Fletcher is all the way in from Canada, by the way. She has something amazing called Blacks Inspire. If you haven't met that group, she shared this message into her group right now. So the number you're seeing, I want to let you know, it's not the real number, by the way. You'll see when we finish this thing. But Sharon Fletcher shared this to her group called Blacks Inspire, by the way. She's in Canada, amazing individual. We're going to be doing some things together, and she is camera ready. She says, look, I'm listening, Clark. Venice, I don't know if you met Venice, by the way. She's super incredible. She says, I'm up. I'm still up. I'm up. Oh, my gosh, Clark. Oh, my gosh. I don't know how you do this. But anyway, Annette said, I'm still listening, by the way. So they're listening and paying attention. So we want to know the goodies. Spill the beans. Spill the beans. Come on, spill them.
So I talked about Philip Bailey's daughter who runs everything. And then I found out because we got to meet the stage manager. We got to meet the wardrobe. All of the people that work with Earth, Wind, and Fire in any major capacity are all African Americans. They demand it. It has to be that way. It doesn't matter. And I thought that was so cool because a lot of the positions, the music director on down, are all young African American, very talented, but they are really close to home when it comes to supporting their people. So that was unique. And also that Maurice White, when he started the group, there was an original Earth, Wind, and Fire that didn't include any of those guys that Maurice White started and kind of was a backup band of sorts. And then they scratched that, and that's when Maurice went on his own and brought in his own team, including his brother and everyone else who was on there. And I got to meet Verdine, which was huge because he's like my favorite Earth, Wind, and Fire performer because he's legendary with the hair and he jams on the guitar.
I love the hair, yeah.
So I'm just standing there with these guys, man, and I'm just like, man, what a way to cap off. And again, it's all of that. I did not go to J school. That is not my major. I didn't start at CBS as an anchor. None of that stuff. I started a podcast 9 years ago, and I was invited to come out and speak to Earth, Wind, and Fire one-on-one or off in the corner, just me and them. And I could ask them anything I wanted. And so I've done that so many times, it has really freaked me out. And each time I get nervous, and each time I have to thank myself and thank the people who encourage me to just do it. Don't think about it. Don't start marginalizing yourself. Don't start over-examining and saying, I don't have experience, I don't have this. None of us do in anything we start the first time, but we start anyways. And so that's my challenge to you. The one thing that I would say, don't miss out on the part that can put you in a role of media. Now, mine is entertainment and stuff like that, but you can be invited as media to cover anything. If you had a cooking show, maybe you can go out and become an expert and do reviews and get to meet the chefs, the local chefs in the area, and go out and interview them at their place. They'll start respecting you. They'll start wanting to come on your show. They'll start getting little nuances, things that you didn't think you were going to get. So it's so big. You just have to sit down and think about what are the possibilities and where this can go.
You know, I love it. I love it. Thanks so much, Clark. I love the Earth, Wind, and story. I love it. Someone said they was just in Kansas City last week, by the way. Venus says, my dad's favorite group, Earth, Wind, and Fire. Memories growing up. Clark, we appreciate you. We appreciate all that you've done. Thank you so much. The message I want for all of you out there is this as it relates to your podcast, and you can close with this. You don't have to get it right. You just got to get going. You don't have to get it right. You just have to get going. Let me say it again. We're going to start this podcast. We're going to build our digital media content hub. You don't have to get it right. You just have to get going. Sharon Fletcher said, this is awesome, by the way. It is time for us to get started. Ladies and gentlemen, for those folks that are out there, if you haven't connected, connect with us over at happyentrepreneurs.tribe.com. Join the movement, join the tribe. For other folks that are out there, make sure you text the word revenue, get the replay, text the word revenue, get the special gift, text the word revenue, get the business toolkit, text the word revenue to 202-999-3515. Again, 202-999-3515. I want you to know that you're awesome, that you're amazing, and I know with 100% certainty the best is yet to come, the best is yet to come, the best is yet to come. With that being said, my name, by the way, for those folks that are tuning in for the first time, my name is Shay Brown, the Happy Entrepreneur. Make it a great day, everyone, and I promise you, Sharon, I promise you, Ebony, I promise you, Amber, I promise you, C.F. Jackson, I promise every single one of you we'll make some good things happen. We connect again next time. God bless, and I wish you success. See you soon, everyone. Bye-bye.
Go ahead and give a big standing ovation for the one and the only Shay Brown.
And I'm here right now in this moment with none other than the one and only Dr. Willie Jolly. What's up, my friend?
It's a privilege and a pleasure and a treat and a treasure to be in your presence.
All right, Delator, we're going to get started. You ready, Delator?
I'm ready, friend.
You ready, Dr. Kenneth?
Ready.
You got, none other than Andy Henriquez. And we have someone like a Dr. Sonia who's a bad sister. All right, now, go ahead with your bad self. None other than the Kim Warren Martin. That's the promise I made to my mom. I only did this message for one person, and that's my mom. This is for you, Mom. Love you. My name is Shay Brown, the Happy Entrepreneur. Make it a great day, everyone. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
All right, Shay Brown.
Mic check, mic check.
All I do is win, no matter what. Got money on my mind, I can never get enough. And every time I step up in the building, everybody hands go up.
Yes. Yeah.
And they stay there, and they stay there, and they stay there. Cause all I do is win. Yeah.
Thank you. God bless.